Welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots. You're either in the right place or the wrong place. It depends on what you were looking for. So glad that you're here. Want to give a big shout out to all the folks that are watching us live on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitter. If you're not at easternshorebroadcasting.com right here, well, wherever it was, you're missing out on the chat. So would love to have you come watch us on chat. If you're watching us later on Facebook or Twitter or Periscope or YouTube, thanks for watching. We hope you'll subscribe and follow and come to our Streaming Idiots page on Facebook, all of that kind of stuff. Really stoked about today's show. I have invited 5 industry experts in live streaming to come talk about the new Facebook announcement. And I couldn't be more thrilled about that. But before we do, that's right, before we do, I do want to remind you, full disclosure, that this show is a giant infomercial for my company, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. Yes, here's that the info part of the show will be here in just a second, but this is the commercial part. The commercial part is the part where I say I'm an authorized reseller for vMix and Magewell and PTZ Optics and X Keys and Marshall cameras, and we're looking at a couple other lines for next year, 2018. We're keeping our line kind of thin because we want to be intimately acquainted with everything in the line, so that we're not just a B&H photo where you order it and you get it and you're on your own, but rather we're the deep place where you can order it for the same price as B&H photo, but you get folks that know the product intimately, especially the vMix. That's kind of our area of expertise. I also design and build custom PCs for folks all over the world. We've got 2 on the workbench right now and 2 waiting to get on the workbench. We'd love to talk with you about that. If you've been using off-the-shelf equipment from Best Buy or wherever, and you think now it's time to get the right tool for the job, we can help you design the right tool for your job. We also have some sort of pre-made things in our store at Eastern Shore Broadcasting, so you can take a look there. It may be close to what you want, but we can always customize one of those for you. Okay, so much for the commercial part of the show. Somebody's saying is the authorized reseller, does that mean it costs more? No, it's the same price. It's the same price as what you would find anywhere else. So thank you for that question. So today's subject is Facebook, and not only Facebook, but Facebook and sports. Not only Facebook and sports, but Facebook wanting to get into sports in a big way. Big like $1 billion big. B with a billion with a B, not million with an M, billion with a B, a big way. And this popped onto my radar just really recently when Rich Ignacio posted something in the Streaming Idiots group on Facebook. If you're not a member of that group, you need to be. Come on over to facebook.com/groups/Streaming Idiots, and you can request to join. There's always a great conversation going on there about something to do with live streaming. In fact, 20 or 30 things to do with live streaming all at one time. But Rich posted a notice about Facebook getting into this. And so I thought, let's unpack that a little bit. And so I picked out, including Rich, I picked out 5 folks that I thought were really leaders in their field in live streaming, and specifically as it had to do with sports. Now, these are folks from all over the U.S., in fact, all over the world. In fact, let me bring these guys in. No sense in talking about them kind of in the abstract, as if they died and gone to heaven. We're talking about them after the fact. No, let's talk about them now. So let's see. If I hit the right button, and we'll bring them on in. I want to welcome Andrew Seabrook to my right here. Andrew is in Melbourne, Australia, and the CEO of Mind IT TV. Welcome, Andrew. Glad you're here.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
And to his right is Charlie Helms, who is the CEO. He's the interim CEO at WSN. Welcome, Charlie.
Well, thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. Glad to be here.
Charlie and I go back a long way, so I can tease him like that and get away
Long
with it.
way.
Plus,
Yes.
Andrew's in between us, so Charlie can't reach out and get me. And then directly below me is the troublemaker in all this, Rich Ignacio, with live streaming 24/7. Welcome, Rich.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Glad to have you. And then to the right of Rich is William Warfield with Prep Spin. William, glad to have you.
Glad to be here, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, William was on the show a while back, and William, that's been one of my most popular shows in the last several months, was the one that you were on.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can tell you're excited. Anyway, and then to the right of William is Scott Pienta with Hillsdale TV. Scott got the navigation award at StreamCon last year for his excellent job of navigating us around Atlanta. So, welcome, Scott.
I'm in my production van, so I'll get lost in my own driveway as I'm sitting here talking to you.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. I want to pitch this to Rich. Somebody's got some audio feedback going on there. Let's see if we can figure out who that is. 1 second while we do a little technical stuff here. Yeah, Charlie, that's you. I'm gonna mute you for a second till you guys get that figured out. You got a crackle in your mic somewhere. Okay,
I think I fixed it.
Okay, very good. All right. So Rich is the troublemaker in this group, and got all this started. So Rich, tell us the short story with the emphasis on short, of how this got on your radar, and what do you think it is?
Well, the first time I saw that article, I thought, wow, somebody's actually reaching out and creating a sports network, and it looks like Facebook did that first step. As you guys may or may not know, the internet is still a wild, wild west. There's no official CBS or ABC or ESPN that anybody goes out to and watch content. You can go to any site, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, or certain websites that cater to sporting events, but that's not no single one place to go for content. When I saw that article for Facebook, I go, wow, someone's actually setting up their own network, so to speak, for people to come and watch sports content, specifically for sports. And this is going to be a major impact. I mean, look at how ESPN started out. When there was no venue basically for sports, ESPN came about and they wanted to do, let's just broadcast sports. And that just ballooned. Now with the technology that we all have, there's the impact for this basically taking off. Not only for sports, but everything else, whether it be someone wanting to show their shoemaking capabilities to college sports, having one of us produce it, and for a relatively low price. This is the potential for actually exploding into something greater than the 70s, 80s, and 90s with the cable TV explosion. Now that we're in the internet age and everybody that has a good rig and setup can produce a relatively excellent show. And this is a potential for just exploding with content.
I agree. The way I see this Facebook thing, and I'm going to pitch this to you guys here in just a second, but what I see is that Facebook has decided that they're going to carve out a big territory, and they're going to carve it out from YouTube, and they're going to carve it out from ESPN, and they're going to create something that doesn't already exist in addition to all that. And they're going to be spending some money, and the question is, are we going to get any of it? But really the question is this Facebook thing, whatever this thing is it going to negatively affect us? I mean, Andrew, is this going to affect the basketball streaming that you do in Australia? What kind of impact do you think that's going to have on you?
Well, interestingly enough, it's probably playing into the hands of a lot of the sporting associations anyway. So here the policy from a number of the parent bodies at a national and state level is that they go through the free CDNs, whether it be YouTube or Facebook. And quite a number of the clubs are also trying to generate a lot of social media on Facebook as well. So, and there's no problem with that, because you do get the eyeballs, you do get lots of people there as well. The big problem for us as content producers is it reinforces the belief amongst the clients that because they can stream for nothing, because they can actually have a CDN that's not charging them, that the stream is not actually worth anything. And so therefore it's increasingly difficult to get income out of the actual stream. On top of that, Facebook and YouTube, but in particular Facebook, don't allow you to run any sponsors ads and so on. So you can't pick up any income out of that. So next week I've got a gig and it's purely sponsor driven. You know, if we were streaming that to Facebook, I have to forego all that income. It means I can't pay crew, I can't pay costs, I can't do the stream. And yet this will be quite a high profile event. So the big issue, I agree with everything that Rich is saying, is that it is an opportunity for us, but unless there's a better revenue share out of it, it's going to make it very, very difficult.
Gotcha. Okay, Charlie, let me kick that over to you. You know, you're in a little bit of a different position. You've got a whole network of essentially stations, 40 independent stations around. How is that going to impact you, do you think?
Well, we've had this question not just recently, but for the last 2 years with schools, talking about streaming to Facebook. And it's fairly easy to let the school understand what that means. A, you're driving traffic away from your site, which means you're going to lose analytics. You're not going to be able to monetize your stream. You no longer own the content that you just streamed. It's now their product. So we're educating schools to understand that Facebook is after one thing, and that's content, so that they can monetize it, they keep the money, and you lose your product. So for us, it's been a battle for the last year, and our clients truly understand the value of building their brand and not building Facebook's brand, just like they're not using YouTube. They want to build their brand. They also understand that a lot of their viewers will be unable to watch Facebook and YouTube because businesses firewall YouTube and Facebook. They don't want that at their offices, and we're white labeled, so our stream will come through. Other schools cannot watch YouTube and Facebook because those are firewalled. So again, just educating your clients to understand, sure, it's free, but with free always comes strings.
Oh, good point. Good point. You've done your homework on this one. I think we're going to give Charlie.
Look,
You've been fighting this battle for a while.
Guys, yes.
Yeah.
That, and also I'll open up the door for this. 2 weekends ago, the National Federation signed a contract with Facebook to be on Facebook Watch.
Right.
So that's going to open up some opportunities for individual production companies. I think that's great. I think it is dangerous for the National Federation, but not any more dangerous than they've been in the past. They've pretty much failed at everything they've accomplished. So it's hard to say that they're on the right track. I've been battling with them for 8 years. So for them to go to Facebook Watch, I'm just going to hang around and watch as y'all start losing accounts left and right.
Interesting perspective. Okay, let's jump back to Rich. And Rich, from your perspective at live streaming 24/7 and what you're doing with Pro Watercross, what kind of impact is that going to have on you think?
Well, this is going to be, I've been augmenting right now Facebook and YouTube and Periscope on my streams. Now, when I did that, the viewership, the reach, or so to speak, it just ballooned. So I'm looking at this as Facebook setting up their own sports network or sports venue will actually, they're going to help advertise the venue. They're going to say, hey, Facebook is now broadcasting sports. They'll help whoever's broadcasting or producing a show get that out to the public. And, you know, I'm a project manager. And if I can get something out there in place and then start carrying out the details on the side, that'd be great. And right now, Facebook's got, 2.5 billion people right now set up. And if you look at the history with television sets versus mobile devices, there are more mobile devices out there now than television sets. So we're not going to be limited to just set-top boxes. We have a major potential for every person on this world to be watching your content.
Wow, that's a huge statement. That's a huge statement. I want to come back to something you said, but let's pitch this over to William, and I think William might have a slightly different perspective. I mean, William, you've just signed on with the National Federation, right?
I have not signed on with the National Federation. I stream games on behalf of the state association in Kentucky that goes through their network. So we produce all the state championship events.
Right, right. All right. So tell me, how do you think this Facebook incursion is going to affect you guys?
Well, I think, you know, listening to Rich a while ago, I think he had a point with, you know, the mobile devices, and that's really where Facebook is trying to pinpoint their audience right now, is on those mobile devices. I will tell you that the quality on Facebook is nothing compared to what YouTube has right now, because YouTube, you can go up to 1080p, you can go up to, you know, we're streaming games right now at 8 megabytes per second because we're doing 60 frames at 1080p. You can't get anywhere close with that with Facebook. And you could tell by, you know, just the quality. Yeah, it looks great on the mobile phone, but when you blow it up on a 65-inch TV, you know, it's just not the same at all. Just not the same experience for whoever's watching the game.
Right, right. Got it. All right, let's push this on to Scott. Scott, what do you think from Hillsdale TV, where you can see the edge of the world up there? You know, how's this going to affect you guys?
I see a lot of things. Well, you know, I'm the one who just signed with the NFHS.
Okay, and, my bad. There we go. Apologies to William.
Yes. Yeah, you know, I was talking to Michael White a few weeks back, who's the president of the NFHS, and you know, they told me what they're doing, and I gave them some ideas. You know, and I talked to Jim Jacobs about him prior to signing on to him, see what his thoughts were. You know, the business model is we're going to give you a percentage of your production, you know, your sales for their subscription fee. Now you're going to get people are going to sign in for 3, 4 months, 5 months at the time, because it's $10 a month. Their goal is to hopefully get people to not be able to unsubscribe and keep those subscriptions rolling in. But what they should be looking is an advertised base. What they want are eyeballs. It's what everybody wants, eyeballs. I want eyeballs, and at the Hometown Media Network, which we've just changed over to, instead of Hillsdale TV, we still are Hillsdale TV, but we changed over to the Hometown Media Network. We're gaining those eyeballs in a different fashion. We are building out an affiliate base here soon, nationwide. We've got the system, we've got it, stuff. Oh, you can hardly hear me. Let me turn it up. I don't know if you can hear me better now. So what we've done is we've got some well, it might be my TV too. That could be possibly it. We're designing an affiliate based system where we can get those eyeballs. So say Richard has got his channel way over in California, and I've got, you know, 10,000 viewers. Richard's got 10,000 viewers. Charlie's got 30,000 viewers. All of us combined, now you're at 50,000 viewers, and it's easier to get advertisers. Well, the NFHS has got the same thing. What they need to do is go after the larger sponsors like Home Depot, Menards, KFC, Taco Bell, all these large advertisers, and do some of what these they call co-ops the video digital world where we trade videos for video content, no different than traditional TV. And what they should be doing is selling those national advertising and say, hey, look, you have to run these many commercials. These are the commercials here. You get them off our website. These are the promotions that they're pushing right now. You affiliates that are signed up with us, you have to have 3-camera shoot. You have to have this. You have to have that. They can put specifications down, no different than ESPN. Like Rick Van Wilden in the chat saying, he has to have, most ESPNs are 6 cameras. They have to have 6 camera angles, or you have to have this. You have to have, all these different specs. They could do the same thing, on a much lower level, to kind of weed out the guys who just want to go out there with 1 camera and put on a good production. So they could say, hey, you need to have 3 cameras, you need to have 2 announcers, you need to have da-da-da-da-da, and we're going to sell X amount of advertising. We're going to put it out to the nation. We're going to send your feed to us. We'll send it out to the nation free of charge. And you can sell the other half of the advertising for your sponsors. And, you get 20 minutes of sponsors or 10 minutes of sponsors, and we get 10 minutes of sponsors. And that's how it should go. That way you can pay for your advertising and get it, and people don't have to pay for that fee, and NFHS can recoup their money by these national advertisers, and that's really what they're looking to do.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. So lot of different perspectives here. Let me see if I can pick a thread that you guys have talked about and run it through. And let's say, for example, that that part of the billions that Facebook is going to spend means that they're going to improve their quality. So they're going to ramp up to 1080p, beautiful video. So there's no difference between what you would see on Facebook and what you would see on YouTube. Facebook can write a check and do that. They could probably do that in, by the end of the week if they wanted to. They could provision the servers. It would happen. In fact, excuse me, that's probably one of the things that's going to happen. What if Facebook were to lift its ban? If you signed up as a Facebook Watch producer, content producer, and they said, okay, as part of that, we're gonna lift our ban for you on you providing or of you having advertising and sponsorships in your live stream, and we're going to give you this kind of prominence. We're going to promote your channel based on the type of sport and the time of year and those kinds of things, and based on watch time, we're going to give you a penny a minute or whatever it might be. Would that be something that would entice you to join in on this? And let me pitch this out to Andrew first, and then we might see if we can get some sort of round robin going here. Andrew, what would you sign up for something like that?
Well, as I said to you, a lot of the parent associations, whether they be state or national, are already going that way. So as a production company, yeah, that'd be great, because all of a sudden we're now getting some guaranteed revenue. However, good luck getting Facebook to give away their advertising revenue. That's the only thing that keeps them in business. So, other than that, they just burn through cash. So, that's not the kind of model that they will adopt anywhere soon. And Charlie is absolutely right.
You're disagreeing with me, Andrew?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness!
Well,
I don't believe it.
with your contention, not so much with you, but with the scenario.
Okay.
But Charlie is absolutely right about the loss of your IP. What people don't realize, when you look at the YouTube and the Facebook terms of service, simply by putting your IP up there, even though they make a claim that say that you retain the IP, you are actually giving them your content, and they then have permission to use that content in any way, shape or form. On YouTube, anybody can take your content and they can repurpose it. They can cut it up. They can use it in any way they want to. And that's perfectly okay according to the terms of service. So it's more than just simply saying, okay, well, now we have a way of giving you some revenue. The other thing that that would concern me with your scenario is, how do they repatriate funds to you? If they were paying you in we don't have pennies here, but if they were giving you a penny a minute, how do they get it to you? You know, think of the admin overheads for them to be able to track all of that, then repatriate it. It's already bad enough where you use paywalls and only get your money back, you know, a month later from the paywall provider. You know, imagine what it's going to be like if either YouTube or Facebook try and go down that track. You need your money up front. You need it straight away. You've got to pay bills. You've got to pay staff. You've got to pay data charges. You know, all those sort of things.
All right, I like that. I like that. And by the way, folks, when Andrew says IP, he's not talking about internet protocol. He's talking about intellectual property. That is the ownership of the video that you produce. And just before we move on to Charlie, same question. I want to give a big shout out and welcome to those of you that are just joining us. This is the Streaming Idiots Show, and we have a very exclusive panel of industry experts talking about the possibility that Facebook is going to spend billions of dollars and come in and try to take over the live streaming of sports. And I want to invite you to come to easternshorebroadcasting.com so you can get in on the chat room if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube directly, Twitter, or Periscope. All right, Charlie. So let me pitch that question over to you. If Facebook is going to be writing you a check on views, and views have got to relate to the bandwidth that you are using, and you're using, you know, teraflops or megawatts or whatever it is that you're buying now. If you got a penny a minute, would you sign up and let Facebook send you cash in a big bucket every month?
The easy answer is no.
Really?
I don't want to have any part of it. Yeah.
No.
I don't want to have any part of it. I've read every single contract from every company since 2010. iHide, theCUBE, who's the other company in California? I can't even think, that National Federation bought out back in early 11. Every one of these companies have a clause in their contracts that once you use their stream, that content now belongs to them. They'll say anything they want to, but the contract is what will go before court. And whatever I'm producing, I'm going to have the rights to do whatever best suits my clients, not Facebook, not YouTube. I don't see that being a business model that works long term. Look at iHigh. They told every school in the United States, stream for free. Stream for free. And they did the business model of going out and getting advertisers. And they falsified their viewerships. Every time you clicked to watch, it counted as 2 views. And the advertisers caught on, and that's why they went belly up. It's just, you can't go down that path and expect to get a different result. We just have a business model where our clients know what they're paying for. We deliver strong content. They stream at any bandwidth they want as long as they want, and we deliver. And you either want good service or you want free. We'll never be a part of free.
Right.
I've seen too many free stories where you really truly do get what you pay for.
Right. All right. Well, then maybe we'll hear something different from Rich, because Rich is already using Facebook. Rich, if Facebook were to decide to send you a check for a penny a minute for all the views, would you take their check, or would you be like Charlie and tear it up?
You didn't have to finish that sentence. I'd take the check. Cash is king. I mean, yeah, we're still in an infancy here. You know, we're still in the Wild West. You know, the regular broadcast televisions is still getting mature on what they need to do in terms of franchising instead of you know, the replays and everything like that. For me, again, I can't emphasize it anymore. I'm by the numbers. So if I just want to show you this, this is what I pulled up. This is the numbers for Facebook and YouTube for the month of June. 2.5 billion with a B of people, active users for the month of June for Facebook, and a little of 1.5 billion with a B. No matter what you call it, that's a lot of people, and that's just the start. Whether you or not you're part of the bandwagon or not, that is a lot of people on the show.
I'll buy that. Oops, sorry, that's where we want to go. I'll buy that. So if you had, yeah, you're counting views on yours. You're not counting minutes, though, are you? When you,
I'm counting views for now. I'm counting views right now. The sponsors that are sponsoring Pro Watercross series, they're asking how many people watched the presentation or the content.
Right.
And that's something that we can provide them. We also have the YouTube metrics with total minutes. That's available too. This is the second year that we've been doing YouTube and Facebook, and the numbers it's just unbelievable in terms of the sponsors that are getting them. They didn't expect these numbers.
And the numbers that they are paying attention to are the views, not the watch time. Is that the way you think it's happening?
Correct. When I say the views, this is from for example, a dealership perspective. Mm-hmm. They may or may not have professional marketing people, but right. The CEO of that dealership will say, "Wow, I had 2 million people watch your show last year between May of 2017 to November 2017. That's a lot of people." Mm-hmm. And then they will, they'll reach out to their own staff to say, "Hey guys, let's see if there's an impact of people actually watching the show." We'll just ask people how they got to know us and if they were able to watch a show and see our advertising. I mean, as simple as that.
Okay, I got it. All right, let's pitch that over to William and say, William, would you take the check from Facebook?
If we were talking about pure impressions, I feel like our traffic is enough to make a little there, but for the average user out there, I don't think that they would make very much for sharing their content through Facebook. There's several ways you could do it, and another way that we've been experimenting with lately is rights fees for some of the events that we do. So for example, I just did a couple college events out in Las Vegas where a company called Flow Sports called us up and they were like, we'll give you a certain amount of dollars to put that onto our network. So that's another thing that's fairly new out there right now is that, these online presence, these online websites out there are wanting to buy content, and that might be the direction Facebook's thinking to spend their money too, is, purchase some rights fees to some of these events out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. I got you. Scott, what about you? Are you cashing that check?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, money's money. But the deal is Facebook is going to grow. You're going to see more content, but you're also going to see a lot more content providers coming up, like William was just talking about, people buying content. I'm one of those people. I'm buying content. If games that I can't put on there, I'm talking to Ken Riker. I want to talk to him about, and Adrian College streaming some of their games on our network. And, so the content's already being created. We're trying to create the more viewers. They want to get their name out there. So what's happening is you're going to start seeing these people go to Facebook to watch content, but you're going to get these content providers out there as well creating this stuff. And you have to have a good content out there. You have to have the viewerships are key. Now, people were talking a second ago, about the viewerships. Now, a 3-second view is, if you're just scrolling through something, you're going to hit it for 3 seconds. And I don't really count that as being worthy numbers, analytics. I'm looking at my numbers on Google on people. So how I use Facebook right now is a tool. We give them a clip of a game that we're producing or shooting, and then we say, hey, send it over to. We're playing the same game over on our Hometown Media Network.tv page, so you can go over that Hometown Media TV page and watch the game in full in HD and 1080p, the whole 9 yards as we're transmitting it. And our viewers, you know, the goal is the length, because if you are an ad-based revenue like I am, like some of these other gentlemen in, and so is you know, Jim Jacobs, we need not just numbers, we need a lot of time for people to view it. We have to create enough content to keep them viewed for a long time. So I'm looking at my numbers for the last week for high school sports that we just started doing basketball season. You know, we had 1.8 thousand views, and our retention rate was 15 minutes per person. So that's pretty good time. You know, I've seen it down to 2.5, 3 minutes sometimes. And, you know, are they going to see one of your advertisers? Maybe not. But at 15 minutes of retention, that's pretty decent on an hour and a half basketball game, because a lot of people are there for, they watch the key part. They might get bored or whatever else. But Facebook, you're not getting any money unless they start helping pay or let you start advertising and starting to do all that stuff. So we use it as a tool to get our name out there and switch them over to our own CDN to produce.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I've heard from all you guys, and I think some of you guys are pretty smart. And then there's Charlie, who probably makes more money than all the rest of us. And I can see where it looks like we got about 3 different camps. You know, Rich is going to cash the check. There was no, I mean, he said, Tom, you didn't even have to finish asking the question. I was already going to the bank when you said that. You know, Charlie and Andrew are saying, no way, we're not going to do it. William and Scott are like, yeah, well, you know, maybe not the penny of a minute deal, but, you know, William might take a contract with him. You know, Scott might do something else. Describe Andrew and Charlie. Let me pitch this to you guys. Describe a scenario where you might be willing to work with Facebook. Andrew, Charlie.
Okay, before I sort of go down that track, there's one other wrinkle on all of this, and that's that Facebook, like Fox Sports, like ESPN and so on, are not going to have a contract with individual producers. They're going to go to the parent body every time, and the contract is not going to be with us directly. It'll be through that parent body. So the revenue share will come back through there. That's where I'm going to put my hand up and say, yeah, if I want to work, in Australia, it's with Basketball Australia, Basketball Victoria, all the state leagues, and so on. That's where we're going to be. We're going to have no choice anyway, but we'll have to go through those things because there will be an overarching contract. To give you a similar sort of scenario, the WNBL here, which is the Australian equivalent of WNBA, has a free-to-air deal or a broadcast deal with Fox Sports this year. That basically means that no game footage can be shown on any other platform except for the Fox Sports stuff. Doesn't matter who produces it, and each individual club has got their own media teams that are doing stuff, but they can't use it anywhere else. Not only that, if we do live stream a game, and there is a possibility to do that, and a couple of clubs are, that live stream now has to go through the Fox Sport platform, and it's badged not with your own individual production company, it's badged for Fox Sports. So, and again, the income coming back is from the club. It's not from Fox Sports. They're not sharing. They're not putting the money in to help you do stuff. You know, they're going the other way. So, yes, I would like Scott. Money's money. If there's money on the table, you got to take it. But I don't see that it's necessarily going to be good for particularly junior sport. Adult, sort of high level leagues, yeah, okay, because they've got the leverage to get some sort of money back. But small clubs, small competitions, they won't do that.
Okay, so Charlie, what if Facebook came to you and said, we want to sign you up, and we want to sign up all your schools, and we want to have this collaboration, and in fact we've got another 40 schools or 60 schools over here that we'd like you to go in and work with. Could they entice you like that?
I doubt it. They could buy me out. They got the billions. They could go ahead and write 2 commas, and I'm done.
There we go. Okay.
But no,
okay.
I don't see that happening in my market. Okay. I'm dealing with high schools across the Southeast, and they are public entities, so they can't enter into a contract with someone like Facebook. What they're entered into with me is a consent form, and because it's an educational-based tool. So we're able to work with the state association as far as regular season. So then when it becomes state championships, that all belongs to the National Federation. Well, the National Federation has now signed a contract with Facebook to stream there. Could they backdoor it? No, because each public school is independent of the state association. They can choose to do whatever they want. The state association only has control when it comes to state championships. They can recommend product, but they cannot force the school to buy certain products. So I'm kind of protected there. At the same time, I've not met one high school anywhere from Dallas to Virginia that likes their state association. They think they're crooks. They hate them. They would burn them on a cross if they could. So, I'm sitting in a sweet spot. I don't need Facebook's help. Again, unless they want to buy me out, no, I'm not interested in them.
William, you're chuckling at Charlie. What's going on?
Well, there is ways around that, Charlie. Either in Kentucky, if I wanted to broadcast a playoff game, I just pay the NFHS through the Kentucky High School Athletic Association a small rights fee.
Right.
And I'm able to broadcast that game. The only exception...
Right.
Yeah. The only exception is the state tournament. So when we get into the Sweet 16, now that all belongs to them. But if it's a regional or a district, we've got that capability to pay a small fee to broadcast those games. Even in the Sweet
16s, you can still pay a broadcast right and broadcast those games.
Audio.
They tried to pull that flag. Oh no, they tried to pull that this year in Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, and the schools went in uproar. And they all had to back down and say, okay, $750 and you can broadcast video. So they had to back down from it. I don't see that rule going any further simply because too many schools are not using the National Federation. I've got 5 schools in Alabama that are leaving them this year to come with us. I've had 2 in Ohio contact me about it as well. So, the actual state championship, you are correct. That belongs to the state association.
Scott, jump in here.
How long they stay in effect?
Well, the agreement is I can broadcast all the way up to the final championship game. The rights fees in Michigan are $1,500 per game to stream live. And it's a hefty fee. In the state of Michigan, there are only 3 affiliates for the NFHS. So we can get called in now. The NFHS which is a different. They actually they bought out the company over in Wisconsin that actually films the final the championship game. They travel to 4 states and they do all the championship games. So they're kind of like the behind the scenes for Fox Sports. Now, the only time I would get called in is if they can't do the championship game. Then they could, if my production was there, which we're definitely not ready in this production van with the new trailer. Yes, we will be. But in this production van, we're capable to handle Fox Sports or a heavy duty championship game. But we can go all the way up to I can film every single tournament. I can film every game if I choose to live, which Michigan is a 1 hour tape delay, which no other state, nobody else in the state could do, other than what Charlie was saying is a high school that has, what they have to do is they have to have it on their own server, their own lock password. They have to, you can't let the other teams see it, or they can't let other people outside in the Facebook world see it. It's a whole, like, you gotta, it's like the narrow tunnel vision look. You can't, nobody can see it. So, but I can stream to the NFHS if I choose to, which we don't unless it's going to championship game or tournaments or something where I'm going to get massive viewers that want to watch us all day long. So we got a tournament here right after Christmas. We're going to stream to the NFHS, which is like 7 games back to back to back for 2 days in a row. You know, so we've got that will stream to the NFHS, you know, because there's a lot of teams from all over the area, but I get to put my advertising in there. My advertisers get to see that. As far as when it ties into Facebook Live, the agreement is also in there that when, I think that's, I was looking at Rick Van Walden's answer. What it is going to Facebook, we're still able to stream our advertisers on Facebook. So I don't know what the agreement they have with Facebook is for us to be able to advertise, but if we are asked to stream, we are still able to stream our advertising on Facebook on those Facebook Live games that they are showing. We get 100% of the revenue from our streams. The NFHS takes 0 revenue from us. We actually get paid, not a whole lot of money. It's very bad, but we do get a revenue. So a revenue from them, from people signing up through them. But the Facebook Live thing, we actually sell our advertising. We run our advertising. There is no stopping us because that's how they're going to get that content on Facebook Live. So you have to look at that as well. If they go with this route with the Facebook Live thing, if they're looking for production, they need to say here's what you need to have. You can't just have one camera and one guy and go out there and shoot this thing. You have to have a production. This is what we're looking for. Kind of like, you know, ESPN started at high school sport level, and look where they are now. So you know, you need to have that same mentality. Here's the outline of what you need to have. You have to have a production truck or van, or you have to have a professional production setup, and they put in the parameters, and then the people that are going to be affiliates have to follow.
All right. I still don't think you've convinced Charlie.
I'm old and set in my ways. I'm sorry.
I seen you looking at. I seen you nodding your head there, Charlie. I seen you.
Yeah, it's
like the Brady Bunch. You have to look up or look left or right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, 3 more people, and we are the Brady Bunch. I'm not against other production companies using and doing that. I think that works for them. But with what I have set up as a business, I just don't see that being the tool to deliver what we want. As we're trying to build brands for schools, I mean, we're talking about building their logo, their mascot, building the branding to that school. Facebook and YouTube doesn't fit. I mean, because you immediately are leaving their brand to go build Facebook brand, and it doesn't add up.
And in your model, Charlie, that's
market.
You're not relying, your schools are not relying on advertisers. They're relying on student labor to produce them. They're their own in-school. And the problem with that is those kids are going to continue going. You still have people like Rich, you know, you still have people like William, you still have people like Andrew, like myself, that are actually, this is our hobby. This is our full-time job. Some of us, you know, so we're going out there and we're actually producing content. And that business model to us doesn't really work because we want to pay our bills off of it, or at least, you know, buy some Christmas presents maybe, or one, you know. So for the problem with that is when you're building that brand, you're building that for that school, which is great. It is great that there are competition, and myself, I would want to buy that content from them, or go to that school. Let's say it was in a rival town, you know, 30 miles away, that wants to film that we want to show on our. I can't produce all the content. I don't have the time. But I could go to this other school and they put out a great production. I know what they're putting out. I could say, hey, I would love to show your guys' stuff on our channel. Now, it doesn't cost you anything. I can take your content. You give me permission to air it. I'm going to show it. I have, like I said, we have our Hometown Media Network, and we have, 15 affiliates. So we've got 15 or 20 or 30,000 viewers in the southern Michigan or northern Indiana or Ohio, wherever we're being viewed at. Now that's much better.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
All right, Rich.
That's what I'm saying. I think in y'all's situation, I think that works. I think that works.
All right. So again, what Scott said, doing this as a hobby, I came in similar to Tom. I got a laptop, desktop, bringing it to a venue. So I can only give you my example. Okay. One extreme example that I can give is for the Pro Watercross site, we had 30,000 likes at the start of one weekend. We had a person called, his name is Frank Zapata, and he invented the Flyboard Air. It's that jet-propelled platform that goes up in the air. That has not been seen in the U.S. When I live streamed it, I had over 3 million views on the live stream that weekend.
Wow.
A recorded video of that, again, a recorded video went viral and had 50 million views. Okay, now we put up the live stream, we put up the recorded video, and we had 30,000 views the start of a Friday. We hit 100,000 views by Saturday nights. Oh, sorry, 100,000 likes by Saturday night. Every time someone likes your page on Facebook, they subscribe to you, they get the alerts. So anytime you put any content up, they'll get something on their news feed saying, hey, we got Pro Watercross, they're showing a new advertisement, they got a new video, whether it be recorded, whether it be live. Now, Charlie, when you mentioned that you're looking for rebranding, if you have a Facebook site and something goes viral, people will subscribe. People just go, I want to see more of this stuff. They will subscribe. In my case, I went from 30,000 on a Friday likes to over 100,000 by Saturday night. I had 70,000 people literally click and press like and basically got subscribed to that Pro Watercross fan page. And that's tremendous value out of almost nothing with the production cost using Facebook as a tool. Again, Facebook is a tool. Whether or not you use it or integrate it is be your choice. You can use Facebook to display your clips, your videos, and have them go to your main page. But again, whether or not you use Facebook, it's going to be everyone's choice, but it's a tool like everything else.
Good
Let me
numbers.
ask you this, in YouTube, yeah, your numbers, I mean, is there a value to that back to you from YouTube with that many likes and viewers? Or is that just helping you with your advertisers? Is there a value, a dollar coming back to you from YouTube for the number of likes and viewers? Or is that you're using those just in your advertising to show the number of views and hits that you're getting?
Just with the advertising. So I did a market research, so to speak, for the sponsors that supported us. I asked them, how is your website hits that month that we broadcasted, 50 million, 3 million people that one weekend, and they gave us their numbers. Their numbers went up on their actual websites. So when people did the like on the Pro Watercross page, viewers actually went to the sponsors' webpage and check them out. Say, hey, there's something that I like here. Let's go check out, for example, www.watershoes.com or something. And I've actually had people say that their numbers went up on their web pages.
All right, gentlemen, we're running out of time. I got one last question for you, and I'll simply take a show of hands on this one. But how many of you are currently live streaming to Facebook? Scott's on the bubble. Rich is for sure. William a little bit. Charlie, no. Andrew, no. All right. How many of you are, well, I guess the second choice answers itself. The second choice would say, how many of you are only live streaming white label? And that's going to be Charlie, right? Charlie's the only one here that is only live streaming on his own private network. Interesting. Okay. Well, gentlemen, I wish we had another 3 hours to talk about this, because I think we could continue to unpack some of this and explore it. And my guess will be that we'll be finding out more about what Facebook's intentions are, and maybe we can, maybe you guys might be willing to pull back together in 6 or 8 weeks, and based on new information, and kind of chat about this again. I'm going to kind of consider you guys my brain trust on this issue, except for Charlie, of course. We know all about that. So.
And you're killing me, Tom.
I know. The next dinner is definitely going to be on me. There's no doubt about that.
Yes, it is.
But gents, I do want to thank you so much, Andrew, for coming on, Charlie, for letting me make fun of you, Rich, for bringing this to a head, William, for being the man in black, and Scott, for being bold enough to broadcast out of the back of your van. It's a very interesting group, and I'm delighted to have you guys here. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, so we're going to do away with those guys and wrap up the show here. If you missed out on this, we'll have it posted to YouTube later on today. But of course, the YouTube and the Facebook streams are available for viewing immediately upon conclusion of this show. I'm delighted to have you guys here. Thanks so many of you for watching live and for coming into the chat. I appreciate that. Next week on Streaming Idiots. I'm not supposed to say anything about next week, but there will be a show next week. And then on December 27th, 2 weeks from today, will be our 2018 prediction show. And you remember my prediction from last year. One prediction in particular has come back to haunt me, which of course was that Facebook Live was going to be a dismal failure and nobody would watch, and Facebook would discontinue that midway through the year. So if you want to hear other, suitably or similarly intelligent predictions for 2018, come on back in 2 weeks, and we're actually going to have a panel of experts to come in and give their predictions for 2018. So I think it's going to be a really, really interesting show. That will be the 27th. And then on this coming Monday will be probably may well be the most interesting show of the year, because we are going to attempt possibly the first Guinness Book of World Record ever attempt for the most simultaneous live streamers using combination of Zoom, Skype, and vMix call. And that's going to be Monday, hosted by the World of Live Streaming at 3 o'clock Eastern here in the United States. You can get more information at the World of Live Streaming page on Facebook. That's World of Live Streaming. Streaming Idiots will be participating, and we will be co-broadcasting as well. If you have an interest in actually being on that show as a guest, shoot me a note, Tom at easternshorebroadcasting.com, or through the Facebook page, Streaming Idiots. Bill Connors is saying in chat, what could possibly go wrong? Everything, Bill, everything. If it could, it would, and it probably will. Anyway, it's going to be a load of fun. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll see you again next week. Don't forget that this was mostly an info, but there is a little commercial, and if we can help you with the commercial part of it, we would be delighted to. So stick around for the post show. We'll be right back.